What's going on, guys? Brandon Hardin here. Hope you're having a great day. It is the 19th of October and I thought with today's video we would do something that I haven't done for about 4 or 5 months now. The last time I actually filmed a Q&A was on a beach in Burlington when I was living in Canada. I don't know if you remember the video, but I'm pretty sure it was a cheat meal video when me and Jordy actually first met. Fast forward 5 months, we're now living together in the UK, and it's funny because in that Q&A I spoke about how me and Jordy were just friends because I kept on getting a lot of questions about like, so who's this Jordy person? Like, we're not in a relationship, we're not dating, we do spend a lot of time together. What's going on there? And now we're filming another Q&A because it's been so long and life is just completely different. In this Q&A video, I received a couple questions on Instagram. I did one of those like ask me anything question things that I was gonna do on Instagram about 2.5 weeks ago, didn't do it, and one of the questions were, can you do a YouTube Q&A soon? So we're going to turn the questions into a YouTube Q&A instead. 2 of the questions are around a realm of something that I want to like highlight in this video, which is hair loss and my own like personal story that I've never spoke about on social media because I was just like way too embarrassed to actually voice it, and like I couldn't believe at the time that it was actually happening to me. I want to talk about my experience with hair loss, how I almost like slightly reverted it and stopped losing hair, and basically just the whole story because I feel like it is important to highlight this kind of thing, make it more of like a normal thing, because I feel like male hair loss, it really is bad for a man's mental health, especially with like mental health day being only like a week ago. I do want to touch on this because when a guy starts to lose his hair, you can become unexplainably self-conscious because sometimes your hair is your identity, especially when you come back from the barbers and you have a fresh haircut, you feel really good about yourself, and if you start to lose that, it's really detrimental to your mental health. So I'm going to touch on that in this video as well. I've screenshotted the questions. I'm going to answer them in no particular order. There's 25 questions in total. Some are short answers, some are longer answers, but I'm going to try and go through these as fast as possible just so the Q&A video doesn't like drag on too long. It has been quite a while since I've filmed the Q&A, so I'm actually really excited to just like sit down and just like talk to you for a bit. So the first question is by Alex. When are you coming back to Canada, bro? I think it's the 14th of January, which is 9 days after my birthday being on the 5th of January. The reason we're going back is obviously 1, Jordy has to go back because it would have been 6 months of her being in the UK and she can't overstay her welcome. We obviously don't want to be like breaking the rules already. And 2, we're going to be doing a prep together at Pure Muscle and Fitness, the gym in Burlington that you guys saw me train at for the first 6 months of this year. It's an incredible place to prep. I'm surrounded by pros and a lot of really good friends as well. And just like being in that atmosphere on prep is like the best place to be to optimize the whole journey of prep itself. Like, it's going to be a really good time. And obviously I'm really excited to go back to Canada, and there's a lot of cool mountains, and I happen to really like snowboarding. So we're going to be planning a few snowboarding trips at the beginning of the year because there's not really many places to snowboard in the UK. It rains and it's a bit cold. There's not really, you know what I'm saying. That is when we plan on going back to Canada. The next question is by Byron. If you're currently skinny fat, which would be better to start off with, bulking or cutting? This is very like specific to someone's goals, what you want to achieve out of your journey. Do you want to be a bodybuilder on stage? Do you want to be a powerlifter? I'm assuming if someone's skinny fat and asking this advice, they're at the start of their journey. You're in a great position to build new muscle because you are going to make a bunch of beginner gains in the first few years of lifting. And if you're just skinny fat, you're not overweight, you're skinny fat. You only have like a little bit of unnecessary body fat. That is going to be absolutely fantastic for you for fueling your muscles and fueling your body to generate new muscle tissue. Obviously, yes, you can make lean gains if you like don't have much body fat at all. That is possible, but in my personal opinion, having a slightly higher body fat is going to be better for you for building muscle. In short, if you're at the beginning of your journey, I wouldn't recommend drastically bulking, and I wouldn't recommend going on a crash diet. Find your maintenance calories, slowly increase until you find a place that you're happy with, and just train frequently, and you will eventually get closer to your dream physique, and you'll also gain a better understanding of your body and what kind of approach you need to make to bettering your physique, because you have no idea how you're going to respond at the beginning of your journey. So just start and you'll find out for yourself. Next question is by Thomas Quinn. How often do you get your blood work done? Me and my coach recommend me to get my blood work done every 3 to 4 months, or whenever something changes, at the beginning of a cycle, at the end of a cycle. Let's just say a cycle is 16 weeks. Just before that, you'll get your bloods done to see where you're currently at. Then that will give you the information you need to generate the stack design on what you can and can't take based on your blood work. And then at the very end, you'll get them done again to make sure that you are healthy and safe and what to do or not to do next time. It can get quite expensive, but if you do have the funds, I'd at least recommend doing it like twice a year at least. Next question is, I've got a fucking list now, Chris Bumstead. Next question is by Angel. Any advice on how to develop bigger calves? Obviously, I'm the best person to ask about this question because I have genetically blessed in the calf department. I have the best calves in the game. Obviously, I'm joking. It's taken me a very long time to build my calves. In the beginning, I think I measured them and they were 13 or 14 inches when I started lifting, and now they're I think just above 16 inches. So it's taken me 7 years to grow 2 inches on my calves. The thing that personally worked the best for me was frequency. I personally do my calves about 3, 4, sometimes even 5 times a week, and spread out between different machines, I'll do about 10 to 12 sets of X amount of reps. I don't really track it. It's sometimes 15, sometimes 20, sometimes 25, especially if I do like a triple drop set. Frequency is king, in my opinion, when building calves. Next question is by Jack Ruth. How do you get rid of a reoccurring shoulder injury? I had somewhat of a reoccurring shoulder injury at some point that was like in my, like where my like bicep attaches to my shoulder, attaches to my chest, like right in the corner. I found out that it was only when I flat bench press with a barbell. I'd do incline bench press, dumbbell press, machine press, nothing hurt it except for that one specific exercise. Take a week off the gym or take a week off any like shoulder or chest exercises. Back you should be fine, but if it's affecting everything, then you should just take a week off the gym and just see if it goes away. If it doesn't go away and it's something that's really frustrating you and you've been to the doctors and they've told you they can do nothing about it, it's not something you need surgery for, then you just need to train around it. If going to the gym is that important to you, yes, you can let it heal, yes, you can get it checked up, but if it's just not going away and it's still happening, just don't do the exercises that hurt it. Otherwise, you're just never gonna go to the gym and it's gonna hurt you forever and you're never gonna progress. So like, that's not the best advice, but it's what I do. Next question is by It's Thomas. When enhanced, do you focus more on strength or volume? Again, this is goal like specific because some people that are enhanced do wanna get stronger and some people do wanna get bigger. Some people want a bit of both. That's me personally. Although I would more like focus on volume over strength, I do want to develop bigger muscles to present on stage, and if I was just following a strength program, I wouldn't develop the same physique as if I was going for volume. But I do like to test max lifts now and again because although going to the gym and building muscles and getting pump is fun, I also like to test how strong I'm getting, because although strength is a byproduct of muscle, muscle is also a byproduct of strength and vice versa. So if somebody is like training for strength, they will develop muscle, but if someone on the other side is training with purely volume, they will develop some kind of strength. I like to do a bit of everything. Next question is by Yara. Do you think it's bad to use protein powder at the age of 14? I definitely don't think it's bad at all. I don't think it's bad to consume protein powder at the age of 10 or 12 or whatever. If you're having a well-balanced diet, especially at the age of 14, you're probably consuming a good amount of protein. If you're not, make sure you are. But if you do struggle to like eat, you've started the gym really early and your parents aren't filling the fridge with the food that you need, then maybe supplement what you're not getting through your diet with protein powder. And I know that when you're 14 years old, you probably don't have a job. You probably don't have much money to like spend on food. So £30 on some protein is a lot better than going to Sainsbury's and picking up chicken breast for £10 twice a day. I don't really spend that much on chicken breast, but you know what I'm saying. Next question is by Wolf something. Where do you see yourself in your 30s? This is a deep question. I would like to be married. I would like to have a kid. Maybe 2, maybe 3. I want to have a really big family. My dad and my mom split up when I was 1, and obviously it just like separated the family from day one. Having like a humongous like family dinner, like getting both families together, was something that I always like fantasized about, but it never obviously happened because like they lived 2 separate lives, so it was just something that I never got to experience. So being able to like have that of my own one day and like having like a massive family with like your kids that have kids as well, and you know, hopefully, you know, the parents stay together and it's like a, you know, perfect scenario. That's what I really want. Yes, I would like to be successful. I would like to be healthy. I would like, you know, my friends and my family to also be healthy when I'm 30. I would like to be running a few companies. So obviously like ideas that I have like in the back end that I haven't like spoke about yet. I would like those to be like flourishing and doing well. Like right now, I am like so happy in general. Like I love everything about my life. My family and friends are healthy. I'm in a wonderful relationship and I'm really grateful for it. So like if I could mimic what I feel now 10 years in the future but just have achieved more, that would be wonderful. How do you feel about tattoos? Do you have any and would you ever get one? Personally, don't have any tattoos. Would I get one? Yes, I would. I've actually been looking at a lot of tattoo pages lately on Instagram. I don't know why. I've been like more obsessed with it. Obviously with competing, it doesn't hold you back. As long as you don't get like a full sleeve and a full like chest piece, it's not gonna like hide your definition. Chris Bumstead won the Olympia. He has a fat tattoo on his forearm right here and that's fine for him. I want my tattoos when I get them to tell a story, and I feel like I haven't lived enough life yet to tell that story. And it's like a big commitment. You shouldn't just rush into it because you think it looks really cool when you don't actually know what you'd want or what would mean a lot to you. And in terms of like placing for me, I would like to have a sleeve that like cut off around about here so I could still wear a shirt and like hide it. I wouldn't want any of my tattoos to be visible in terms of like not being able to hide them if I wanted to, because like sometimes tattoos like they don't look the smartest and not everyone has to see something that's like really personal to you. So I'd want to like put it somewhere like, you know, I could cover. Next question is by Ryan M. Scott. Have you ever had gyno surgery? No, I haven't had gyno surgery, but recently I did have a gyno scare. In my family, my dad, my brother, me, we naturally do have puffy nipples. I'm going to include some pictures right here of when I was like, I think I was like 15 or 16 years old. And as you can see, if I like zoom in, my nipples behind them are slightly puffy. And obviously taking PEDs and the hormone balance in your body being a very fragile thing and easy to mess up when you do take PEDs, aromatization in the body is something that's very, very hard to control. Yes, with taking an AI, you want to get away with like not taking too many AIs, because like taking too many estrogen blockers is gonna like just mess up everything in the body. If you can get away with doing a small cycle and not taking an AI, that is the way to go. Like, you might not be the kind of person that is able to do something like that because the side effects just will be too severe. Up until about 2 or 3 months ago, I thought I was completely immune to side effects. I don't suffer with back acne. Up until a story that happened last year that I'll tell you about in a second, I didn't suffer with hair loss. I didn't suffer with red skin, anger issues, really anything of the sort, until about 2 months ago when my nipples, like they actually started to hurt a little bit for the first time, and there were some like crystals developing underneath, and I automatically like got really paranoid, and I was like, I have gyno. I was on the phone to Callum, we were speaking about it. He was like, we're gonna change this about the stack, get a blood test done. I need to see your levels, I need to see what's going on, and if I can see your blood, I'll be able to tell you if you're getting gyno. I would 1000% get surgery immediately, because it can take away from someone's physique. It looks like someone doesn't know what they're doing, they don't have control of their hormones, or they're just really immature and they've just like blasted a bunch of stuff and they have no idea what they're doing. I am very, very precautious with what I take, and I take a very, like with Callum, a science-based approach to everything that I do. So for me to get it, I was like, holy shit, this isn't a good thing. Like, how can we stop this? At the time, I was taking a substance called NPP. That was what was giving me gyno. We immediately stopped it, and to this day, I actually said to Jordy the other day, because I gave her an update on like how I was feeling, because I did start to get like really down about it, really emotional, a little bit depressed, because it was something that I thought I would never get. And a little bit of time ago, I kind of realized that the pain had stopped, and I was like feeling them, and they were completely fine. Like, it almost like went away because I stopped doing the thing that was causing it. Moral of the story: please monitor everything you do. Please be precautious and know the side effects, because it can mess you up. It's hard to keep track of. If you have the funds to counter these side effects, like gyno surgery is like £4,000, £5,000. Like, it's not cheap. Some people aren't in the same position, so please just be careful. Next question: do you or Jordy smoke weed? Jordy,
No.
Come here. Do we smoke weed?
No, we do not.
No, we do not. But have smoked weed before.
I think we've only had like one hit of a spliff together ever.
Really?
Yeah.
When was that?
I think Toby was it?
No, you did that. I didn't take it.
Oh.
No, okay, so I tried weed and I had a really bad experience when I was like 13, 14. I had a whitey, which is like, you know, you basically get like too fucked up. I had a blowback and it just messed me up, and I like hated weed from then on. Obviously in Canada, smoking weed is illegal. I think it was in February. I tried again and I got the worst headache, the worst experience. It was just terrible. Like, I actually hated it. We was in Tobermory at the cottage that you may have seen the vlog of. Steph and Chris, the people we went with, they like frequently smoke weed. So like Jordy had a drag and like, you loved it.
I loved it. I used to smoke with friends like occasionally and stuff like that, but like,
I'm not gonna judge you.
Ooh, judge me.
There's nothing wrong with smoking weed. Should we say about the shrooms?
You just said it.
I know. Basically, it was a cool experience. I mean, I wouldn't recommend like trying shrooms. It's a very like, oh my god, like cocaine. It's like a terrible thing, right? It was something that I wanted to like microdose and take a little bit of, and it was literally like half a gram. A regular dose of shrooms is like 2 grams. I like did barely any. It was like half a gram. It was like the smallest amount, just because I like wanted to like experience somewhat of what it would feel like. I don't like the idea of hallucinating. That didn't happen because I didn't take enough, because that would scare the shit out of me. I don't like the feeling of not being in control. Jordy did a little bit more than me. She's like hardcore. Not hardcore, you know what I mean? You're just like more daring.
No, I was like, screw it. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right.
One of the coolest things that happened, we went outside after like chilling inside for ages. We walked out into the dock, we sat on the chairs and we looked at the freaking sky, and the stars were reminiscent of a dome. Like, you know the Simpsons movie when they put that big glass dome over the world? There was a dome of stars over us.
It was beautiful.
It was fucking, and it's cool because like we wasn't just hallucinating, because we like could both see it. Every star was the brightest star you'd ever seen, and then in between that there was little stars vibrating, like little tadpoles.
That was definitely the shrooms.
They were like swimming around the sky. I woke up in the morning, felt completely normal, it was fine. I'm not saying I'd recommend doing this, but I mean, I want to experience a lot of what the world has to offer before I die. Probably will never do it again. I have no urge to do it again. I'm glad I did it once, very like so smallly, but it's done. They didn't ask about weed.
Sweet, you gave them more than they asked for.
There we go.
You're welcome.
I'm a giver. Next question is, what is your favorite time of day? Honestly, like my favorite time of day is when I'm fucking sleeping. Right now I'm like like pretty heavy. I'm 236.8 pounds, so the heaviest I've been on this bulk. I'm not feeling fantastic. I get out of breath quite easily when I work out. I'm fully aware that like my face is like a little bit puffier than usual because like I am pushing food like quite heavily right now. I will only be pushing this hard for another 6 weeks until we back off before we start prep, because obviously I don't want to start prep in like a puffy condition. And we're also going to be dropping the cycle as well, so obviously we're going to be in a good position, well rested, cruise for a short period of time before we do start the higher supplements on prep, just to like prime myself to be ready. But oh, you going? Have fun. But yeah, my favorite part of the day is when I'm sleeping and when I'm getting head.
Brandon?
Yep.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
Brandon! My mom and my dad watch you.
Oh, they do. We just look at each other for long periods of time. Next question is by Aaron. What's the weirdest creepy thing someone's ever asked you in the DMs? A perfect question to answer when Jordy just left, because I mean, she's gonna watch the video obviously, but like, I think the weirdest thing that anyone's ever asked me, it was about 2 years ago, and a guy asked me if I would have sex with his girlfriend so he could watch. They were even gonna pay me for it too. Like, they wanted like £7,000 or £8,000. I was like, dude, thank you. Like, this is like a compliment. Like, I'm glad that you want to watch me, like, you know, whatever with your girlfriend, but no thank you. Obviously, like, I don't know these people. I don't know like if it's happening, he's gonna like cut my feet off at the end of the bed because he's gonna like experience an urge of jealousy, and then he's gonna be like, frick you, and like, you know, stab me or something. Part of me didn't believe it. I thought it was like a troll until the girlfriend herself actually messaged me and was like, yeah, so my boyfriend said that he messaged you, like, would you be down for this? Like, we'd really like it as a couple. But it didn't happen. Obviously, I blocked them immediately. I was like, I don't want any part of this like weird fantasy. But yeah, that's probably the weirdest thing anyone's ever asked me in the DMs. Next question is by Costas Cox. What are the best foods for losing weight? There are no good foods for losing weight. Food will make you gain weight because foods contain calories. If you eat food, you will gain weight. So if you want to lose weight, just starve yourself. Just like stop eating, and eventually like you'll start to lose weight, and then you'll be where you want to be. Obviously, I'm joking. Best foods to lose weight are calorie dense foods. Foods that really fill you up, are very satiating. Foods that you can enjoy that are low calorie dense foods, which are foods that don't contain a lot of calories that you can eat a lot of to fill you up. Those are the best foods to lose weight. Next question is by Noah Forrest. Where are you guys taking a trip next? Actually, we're going to Mykonos in 6 days. We randomly booked it yesterday with the weather being grey and gloomy and rainy just in the UK. It's like quite depressing. The weather never has affected me mentally before, but like being surrounded by such depression all day, every day, like it's actually quite saddening. And I kind of feel a little bit bad for Jordy being surrounded by such gloominess. And of course, she is not in Europe for much longer. Obviously, we're going back to Canada in January. So I want to travel as much as Europe as possible. I have never been to Greece, and Mykonos is a great place to go and experience Greece, so I've heard. So we're gonna go there in 6 days for a total of 4 days, just a short trip, just to enjoy it. We've rented a Airbnb, flights are booked, and we've rented 2, so 1 each, ATVs, basically like 450cc quad bikes. So that's gonna be in less than a week, and I'm really excited about it. Next is by Rish Ig Hosh. Who is the most inspirational person in your life? I think my girlfriend. I think Jordy is like the most inspirational person to me. Like, hear me out. The reason for that, she is so driven and she is so like calm and collected. She doesn't let things stress her out. I personally deal with that like so poorly. Like, things do like stress me out and I think about things too much, but she doesn't think about anything too much, or she does, but she's really calm and collected, and she's so kind to everyone. Like, she could walk in a room and she's just like a ray of sunshine to anyone there. Like, she is the light in every room, and she's so kind and generous and forgiving and all these things that I wish I was more of. It's really funny when I receive comments and stuff, like hateful comments on my posts of like my relationship pictures with Jordy, because people are like, oh yeah, she's only with you for the money, she makes more money than me. She runs such a successful lifestyle coaching business. She kills it. There is no truth in that. She has a great work ethic, and she inspires me, and she is the person that I spend the most time with, and you should surround yourself with people that, you know, you want to be more like, and I'm really lucky in that sense. Really hope she doesn't watch this now. Next question is by Peter. Not sure if you've ever mentioned it before, but is your goal Mr. Olympia? My goal isn't Mr. Olympia. My end goal in life isn't to win the Mr. Olympia. I just want to be the best bodybuilder I can be and take it as far as I can. If that results in me stepping foot on the Olympia stage, that would be freaking incredible. Next question, which is actually the last question of this Q&A, by Gabriel. Have you ever experienced any hair loss / diminishing hair density? There was also another question further back. Do you take finasteride to keep your hair gains while on a cycle? Finasteride is something that lowers your DHT levels, which is the thing that if you have high DHT, it will speed up hair loss. If you take finasteride, it will slow hair growth. It won't stop it, but it will slow it down. I have thought about it. I thought about it a lot recently and a lot a year ago. Now you may be thinking, yes, finasteride is the solution to hair loss. No, it won't grow the hair back, but if you are experiencing hair loss, it will halt the hair loss somewhat. It won't completely stop it. Basically, the way I like to think about it is if over a month period, you were gonna lose 100 hairs if you weren't supplementing finasteride. And then if you was, you would lose 10 hairs and you would keep the 90 hairs. When you stop taking finasteride, those other 90 hairs that were holding on will eventually be lost, and obviously because you halted it, you will lose those other 90 hairs of the whole 100 hairs you were gonna lose a lot faster. There's not a lot of research, or not that I know of anyway, that states that it will be a faster process when you do stop supplementing. The day that you stop taking finasteride, will every single hair on your head just fall out? No, I don't think that's the case. There's a thing called finasteride syndrome, which is very common in finasteride abuse. You can develop side effects such as depression, such as anxiety, which is obviously a side effect that you do kind of get from like supplements anyway, if you're like prone to that kind of thing. In the realm of bodybuilding, body dysmorphia and like your physical image is such an important to a lot of people, and obviously like some people do suffer with depression already. It needs to be something that you're committed to and very well like researched on in terms of dosages that are going to work for you, because otherwise you could result in being just a massive ball of depression, which isn't really good for anyone. It was last year and it was at the peak of my bulk when I was working with a different coach. That coach instructed me to take 2 different substances, which were SARMs, which were MK677 and RAD140. There has been a lot of studies on this that show that hair loss is one of the biggest side effects. After about a month of taking MK677, I did start to notice 3 things. 1, a serious amount of weight gain. 2, I developed a lot of bloating, a lot of lower back pumps that were like so uncomfortable because of the weight gain. I wouldn't recommend taking it because it was a really uncomfortable experience for me. And 3rd, the final thing that I noticed was my hairline at the front really started to recede, and it was a really nerve-wracking thing for me. Hair loss is and isn't in my family. It's meant to skip a generation. Both my granddads on both sides don't suffer with hair loss. My dad is currently bald, and I do think eventually in my life I will, maybe around the age of like 30, 35, I will start to like lose my hair naturally. But with all the incredible work in the hair transplant industry right now, if I start to lose my hair, I will be getting a transplant. Like, I don't want to be bald. I do like my hair. My hair is personally part of my identity. It does make me feel really good when I have a good hair day, when I get a fresh fade. It's part of who I am and it's part of my personal look. I don't even think I would look good bald. I think I would look weird. Baldness suits people that have like round heads. Like my dad, he has like a really circular head. I have a long head, so I think I'd just look like an egg. It just wouldn't look good. You may be wondering, how bad was the hair loss? Like, how bad could it have been? You was only taking the supplement for a whole month. This is what my hair was looking like after a month. You can see how far back my hairline got, and it made me feel like so uncomfortable. I would like try and style my hair up and then down. I would try and like bring the fringe like down in this part like over to like hide the hairline so like you couldn't see it. This wasn't even something that I brought up to my coach at the time because I was just so self-conscious about it. I didn't even bring it up to my friends. I didn't bring it up to my family. I like kept this to myself, and the picture that I just showed you, that was something that I thought I would take to the grave with me because I would never ever show anyone because it made me feel like so uncomfortable and self-conscious. But I think it's something that does need to be highlighted. Hair loss is something that is very natural, and if it does start to happen, like, do not worry about it. There is so many solutions. You can get hair transplants. If you go like completely bald, there are like wigs these days that look so natural that literally stick on like super glue to your hair. It's not the end of the world. If you start to lose your hair, it doesn't have to stay gone, or you can undergo the surgery that I would do, which is about 6 months to a year recovery. Mike Thurston is a great representation of what the transformation can look like. I'm going to link his hair growth transformation and his whole like timeline of it linked in the description down below, as well as the channel More Plates More Dates. I'm going to link 2 of his videos, one talking about hair loss and one talking about MK677. They're going to be linked in the description down below because I watched a lot of More Plates More Dates videos and he's very informative, and the things that I learned from his hair loss videos did give me a lot of confidence in knowing how to properly supplement and counteract my hair loss. And the way I actually did that was I just stopped taking the supplement that was giving me hair loss, which was the MK677, because in a video that I watched that he created, it did state that MK can be one of the biggest reasons you can lose hair. So I stopped taking it, and within a couple of months, it did take about 6 months to go back to normal, but my hair did stop receding and it went back to like not normal. I have abused supplements for 4 years. It's not something that I can ignore. My hairline will start to recede. It's completely okay. Like, it's completely normal. This is the journey that I chose to go down. I was aware of the side effects, and hair loss isn't something that I'm currently dealing with. It's not something that I'm currently scared of. This is actually a transformation of the picture that was taken about a year ago when I started to lose my hair versus this morning. This is what my current hairline is currently looking like. So you can see the transformation between the two. There's not like drastic changes, but like obviously this is receding quite a lot, and this is where it currently is at this current standpoint. Obviously a year in the future, after I stopped taking the substance that was wrecking my hair. Honestly, I think when someone shares something really private to them, really scared someone, it was truly detrimental to their identity and like really made them like self-conscious. When people share these things, like it brings people together and it makes people understand that like they're not alone. Like there are other people right now struggling with hair loss, really nervous about it, and they need to know that like it's not something that you need to be like eternally scared of. So guys, with that being said, I'm gonna end this video here. I had a lot of fun filming this video. It was really like unprepared and right off the bat, and I actually really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. If you did, please smash the like. Also, post notifications. This is something that I've like never asked anyone to like turn on before. Someone actually commented on my past YouTube video, and I got 2 DMs about it as well, saying that like they realized that I posted a YouTube video, but no one notified them that I actually posted it. So if you could do me a favor and turn on post notifications if you want to be notified. You don't have to, but if you do want to be notified when I post a new video, turn it on. I'd really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. What's up guys? As you can see, only 1/3 of people that watch these videos actually subscribe. So I'd really appreciate it if you do enjoy these videos to hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications so you can be notified every time I post a new video. And if you're feeling generous, smash the like. I'd really appreciate it.